Welcome again to Learning in Bits. Today we shall continue with where we stopped off the last time with Adobe Animate. So this time around we're going to play around with other shapes. So let's assume we want to create a simple environment using the basic shapes and the tools we have here. So for now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm using Control minus to zoom out a bit. On Mac, it should be Command and minus. So you can do Command minus to zoom out and Command plus to zoom in. Okay, so I'm going to create a rectangle using this rectangle tool, and you can see the shortcut is R. So I'm going to create a background and I'll just zoom out slightly. So if I want to scale this, I'm going to go to the next tool here, which is my free transform tool, and you can see the shortcut is Q. So I'm going to select that, and I don't think I need the background, the outline. I don't need the outline, so I'm going to double click on the outline alone and delete it. Okay, so I would like to show you one other thing we can do in terms of colors. So I'm going to, with this selected, I'm going to go here where we have the color panel. Okay, and this time around I don't want a solid. I'm going to go with a linear gradient. Okay, you can see now that you have a gradient from black to white. Now what this means is I can actually change colors. Okay, so I'm going to, with this selected, I'm going to go back here. I can double click on the black and change my color to maybe something like blue, and I'm going to leave this as white. Now I'm trying to create a sky, a blue sky, but you will notice right now that this is horizontal. My goal is to either scale it up and rotate it to fit the window. Alternatively, what we can do is I'm going to introduce you to this tool, which is your gradient transform tool. If you click on it, it gives you the ability to actually rotate the color without rotating the shape itself. So I'm only rotating the color, and I'm going to bring the white up a bit, maybe something like that, and I'm going to try and move this up a bit. So if you're creating a sky, this is one fast way to create what looks like a sky. The last time we didn't talk about layers. So Adobe Animate gives you the opportunity or the ability to create layers. Right now we have only one layer, and you can change the name of the layer. For example, I'm going to double click here and I'm going to call this BG for background. Okay, and I'm going to create a new layer because I don't want to put all of my assets on one layer. So I'm going to create using this icon here that says new layer. So I'm going to create that. I'll click on it and I'm going to create a new layer. I'll call this ground just because I want to use this same file. So same process, I'm going to just go here and click on rectangle. You will notice that it's taking the same color as the previous one, so that's not a problem. So I'm going to go now back to my selection tool. I will double click on the outline because I don't need it. So my goal would now be to change this color. I'm going to go here, change it from linear gradient to solid. That way I can choose a solid that I want to work with. So let's assume I want my character to live where there's a green grass. So I think this is fine. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so I can focus on the environment. So I think I like this, but I just want to create some kind of variation. Remember I said in the previous class, you can actually put your cursor close to the edge of the shape and modify it. So let's assume it's a ground that is not exactly flat. So I can hold down my Alt and maybe create something that looks like a hill, just to create something that looks more natural. I think that is fine. I'm going to hold down my Alt again, maybe just create something that, yeah, I think this works. Okay, so now I've been able to create a ground as well as a background. So what if I wanted to create a hill? What would I do? This time around, let me play around with a different shape. I'm going to go to oval, and I will deliberately create a shape on the same layer because I want to show you how we can remove shapes from existing layers. Once again, I'm going to take out the outline, and I'm going to change this color to maybe something that's a little bit brownish, something like that. But now you will notice that these two shapes are in the same layer. All right, so that's not exactly okay by me because I want them to be independent so I can have more control. So what I'm going to do now right now is, even though I've created this on this same layer, I can actually right click, and there's this option that says distribute to layers. So I'm going to click on it. What it does is it takes the new shape to a different layer. As you can see, you can toggle the visibility of each of these layers here. Okay, so now that shape is in a separate layer, and I can call this heels. Okay, so you can see how flexible this software is. It's actually a very strong software, and I can lock these layers so that I don't mistakenly move them around. So I'm going to lock all of these and just leave the heels highlighted. So right now I'm going to try and modify this shape to look almost like a heel. So I'm just playing around with the shape. So I'm just going to make a copy of that, Control D or Command D, and I'll place it here. I won't worry too much even though they're on the same layer, but I'm going to modify that shape so that it doesn't look like a perfect copy. So I'm just going to modify that slightly. Okay, so I would like you to play around. Maybe you can add like a sun, which I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new layer and call this sun. And for that, I'm just going to create a perfect circle. Remember, I said in my first class, you can hold on shift and create a perfect circle. This time around, I'm going to also delete the outline. And maybe I should leave the outline this time around and maybe just change the color a bit. Let's see if I can do that. Obviously I can. So I'm just going to lock the heel and I'll select that. I think I want my stroke to be white or a little bit and maybe my fill, I want it to be like that. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. So I'm just going to scale it down a bit. Remember, Q is the shortcut for scale or transform. Yeah, so that is now the sun. I'm just going to leave it there somewhere. You can actually place it wherever you want to. So I would like you to play around with these tools, create the environment of your choice, and I'm going to go ahead and create what I think should look like my own environment. So see you in the next video. I would like you to subscribe and get your notifications on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will get your alert automatically. See you in the next video. Take care and bye for now.